Hi guys, welcome back. As you can probably see from this sad excuse that you could maybe technically call a beard, I've been quite busy with work again. But still, it's not as bad as last time because it didn't take me a year to make a video this time, so statistically it's a bit better. I once said that I will make a video about this and then over a year just passed. So you probably know what I'll be talking about from the title of this video, but yeah. In the fall of 2021, which now is a long time ago, I suddenly got a huge itch for shooting pinhole. And if you don't know what pinhole photography is, it's photography where you don't per se use an actual lens that has glass in it and elements and stuff, but you rather just use a little, well, pinhole made with just a small pin, and due to this funny thing that we call physics, it makes a picture on film, or a digital sensor for that matter, but most of the time people like to use film because it's much easier. I was mostly inspired by a fellow Finnish film photographer and a YouTuber called Ari, who shoots these amazing 4x5 pinhole pictures which looked amazing. So I had a few criteria for a camera. One, it had to be medium format, so 120, because it's only around 12 pictures, so it's not that bad to get through a roll. Then I wanted it to be cheap. I looked at some already made pinhole cameras and they looked amazing, but they were way too expensive for me because I was a broke student who didn't want to spend a lot of money on things. And another option could have been building my own camera. You could 3D print something or make something out of a cardboard box or something. But one thing about me is that I am not good with my hands. I suck at crafts. But then I thought, hey, I already have this very nice medium format camera and it has the film transport and it keeps the film flat and all of that kind of stuff. Could I just use this? And then I went to wander around a world called eBay. And then I found a seller that was selling these custom 3D printed pinhole lenses for a variety of medium format film cameras. And in that variety was the Mamiya C series, which is not a camera that you usually think about with pinhole photography. I'll make sure to link down below the seller if they still exist. It's been a while. The Mamiya C series TLR, if you have seen my other video, know about it. It's the only TLR that has interchangeable lenses. So I could just take off the lens and replace it with this pinhole right here. And there you go. It's a lot smaller now. So then when I got this, I went out and shot a roll of Ilford HP5. I rated it at 800 ISO and I then stand developed it in Rodinal just so I could get some pictures out of it. And here's what I got. And one thing that I really like about this is that, well, it's just a lens, so I can change it with my normal lens. And I can take pictures on pinhole and on normal lenses on the same film roll. So here you can do a side-by-side comparison with the pinhole and the real lens. The real lens is much more sharper. Who would have thought? But the fact that I can shoot a roll of film and maybe just do 1 or 2 pinhole photos per roll, it's great and I like it. Also, one thing I forgot was that I have nothing to block off the lens. So when you want to end an exposure, you have to cover the lens with something, of course, otherwise it'll be exposing forever. Well, the camera kind of has that built in. What you just heard was the dark slide that's actually built in inside of the camera. Now it's exposing, and when you're done with your exposure, you just close it. It's easy as that. And that dark slide exists inside the camera so you don't blank out your film while you're changing lenses. Of course, one thing with this setup is that, well, you can't see anything because there is no lens on the viewing lens. So what I did was I resorted using the sports finder, which is built in, and it gives you roughly the field of view that you're going to get. Now, one thing that you probably already know about pinhole photography is that you need to shoot with very small aperture numbers because the pinhole is very small. It doesn't let in a lot of light. You need to do much longer exposures. So these were like around 30 to 40 second exposures, and that made all of the people walking by disappear, which was cool. There is one thing that I don't like about this thing. It's the focal length. If you have seen a lot of pinhole pictures, you probably associate them with this very wide field of view, very low, small focal length. Looks very cool, right? That's what you associate with pinholes. This is not that. And that's because, well, you have the camera body here. If you shot 4x5 or anything like that, you probably know the basic thing that focal length is just the distance between the lens and the film. And because the camera body is quite thick, it means that it always has a little bit of focal length. For this one, the focal length is basically somewhere in the 70 to 72 millimeters, I think, which is totally not ultra wide. But it's a downside you have to take with this kind of design, with not shooting with a real pinhole camera, but rather a camera that's not made for it. But it's a trade-off you have to make. You can't get those cool ultra wide pinhole photos, but rather you have the convenience of shooting maybe just one picture of a roll in pinhole and, well, film transport and other kind of cool things. But after taking a look at these pictures, I was quite surprised. The pinhole is actually quite sharp and it made these photos look quite dreamy and cool. And I will shoot some color pictures with that pinhole next summer because that's something I really want to do. I want to see how well it performs. I will make sure to update you guys on that, maybe take you with me on a trip where I photograph with that pinhole. And yeah, thank you for watching. You can find all of my links down below, my Instagram and stuff like that. Go follow me on there. Did this inspire you to shoot pinhole, or have you shot pinhole before? Comment that down below and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.